Oh, yes. Welcome to the Amigos Co. It's Monday evening / Tuesday here in Australia. Hello to all you beautiful humans. Shut up. Don't leave your mobile phone on when you... Stop it! Stop it. Hi, welcome back. There's the first serve of potatoes. That is 1-0 to me. We'd like to welcome Mr. Steve Legion Vapes of Northern New South Wales with a Ford supporter. Or does that say Fjord? It does say Fjord, doesn't it?
It says Fnord.
Oh, it says Nord. We'd also like to welcome Mr. Vandal. Mr. Vandal of Las Vegas territories. We also have two beautiful beards from kind of almost similar sides of the country. Mr. Logan Exhales and Mr. PoonSauce McPoontoodles. Welcome to you both, gentle folk.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us, Adam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Shit's going down all over the world right now, and I guess this was kind of born out of a discussion that Steve and I were having on the weekend, and I saw quite a lot of the US contingent talking about, you know, things that are moving and shaking in the vaping world over there, and I'm sure a lot of people know what's going on, but I felt a little bit out of touch, and I didn't want to induce the rage sweats too much, but kind of wanted a little bit of a background, hence why we asked you on. But we don't have to talk about that all show. We can delve into why Chris Vandal showed us his butt crack just before the show went on, and because that
I fortunately missed that. I missed the butt crack.
It was just
I was the only one I believe that was spared.
I have to admit, I was glancing to the side, and by the time I turned back, it was put away, and yet I still have PTSD at the concept.
I have a
If you
full
guys
black
want to
hole.
see it, yeah. PoonSauce really pointed out the fact that I have a hairy butt for some reason, but like, aren't all men's asses like, you know, hairy unless you're a swimmer? Anyways,
I think it depends on the industry that said man is involved in.
that's very fair.
I think that would determine the hairiness of.
Well,
Ass
let's
of the
get this
ass.
out of the way already since we brought it up. I'm not gonna pull out my ass hair on here, you know, because like we got nice guests on, but just you want to see what it looks like.
yeah. Indeed. Because I looked up at the screen at just the right time, and I was like,
I think me and Steve both need therapy now.
Yes. I'm double
I saw it and I
traumatized.
swear it blinked at me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
You
well,
guys are supposed to
sign
open
me
your
up.
third eye, and what better eye to open than your brown eye?
And we finally hit the gutter.
yeah.
There it
Yeah,
goes. There it
about
goes.
me.
Well, we made it, what, 3 minutes?
4
into
minutes.
this?
4 minutes in.
in.
Only uphill from here. Awesome.
Man.
Gentlemen, our guests, our esteemed, lovely gentlemen guests, tell us what you're vapping on. Let's do the buffets.
You want to go first, Corey?
Okay. Lazy Vapor DNA 75C with the GT4S with some the Frosty Nuts from Mr. Clown Vapes, Mr. KBTV, and Warlock's Hammer, little Vaping Zombies edition, PoonSauce edition, the Sherman 28.
PoonSauce edition. Awesome.
Yeah, with some red licorice from Crumbs, their Divine line, and then my Infinite Mods Pegasus, little side flyer 21700 action with the Valhalla 28, with some Breeze Tone 26, with some that neon bacon, the blue raspberry slushy.
How is that?
Pretty delicious.
Is it?
Delicious. I thought it would be really crazy sweet, but it's literally perfect on sweetness. Wait.
Can I ask you who the manufacturer is on that?
I think it's KL Labs or something like that.
Okay.
Hold
I'm
on.
just curious. I don't know,
Where
and
is
like
it?
I'm not trying to like. If you like it, it's good, but I'm really weary of brands that cross over from like hardware to juice sometimes, you know.
KL Lab.
Yeah, I've always been weary of their liquid line, and so I've never tried it. I've always kind of been curious, though.
They're
I just
manufactured in
assumed it was.
It's a manufacturer
sweetener.
out of Boise, I guess. It's a lab in Boise. But it's
Cool.
good. I like it.
Because they have two, right? I think they just have the two. They have like two. The other one's like a red slushy or something.
Yeah, no, they have the blue raz slushy and they have like the fruit punch one.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's good. I like it.
Something about their marketing never appealed to me. Just always seemed a bit cheap looking.
Yeah.
And that may be a rush to
You
judgment.
can
but,
tell this is an old label because
No,
There's no nicotine warning on it.
yeah.
well steeped.
I hate those labels, man. When that shit came out, I remember working for local and like all that shit happened. It sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I'm cutting into the meat list.
That's all I got really tonight. Logan, what do you got?
I have a few things. This is just a standard in my rotation. We call it the hashtag yard mod. I found it in my yard in the rain, revitalized it. There's a slide sitting on top with some 10 milligram blood orange champagne from DIY or Die. I have the rescued edition Voorhees dual parallel 21700 Odium sitting on top. In that, I've got some mixed berry lemonade from Mr. Mitch Hoggett himself. Boxer with a Citadel sitting on top. In that, I've got some Yig. I broke some Yig out.
Oh,
Vintage.
Yeah, so good. And then last up, I've got the Lost Vape Rust with the Blotto sitting on top of there with some Georgie. Some Georgie from Clockwork.
Little Georgie Porgy.
Yeah, I kind of broke out of my standard, like, all fruits lineup.
Let's say
This
I don't
week,
see any
so.
Freemans. I think we need to check your temperature, see if you're okay.
Yeah. No, I think I'm all right. It's just wintertime, and this is like the time of year where I get into like heavier beers like porters and stouts, and I get into like desserts and bakeries and stuff like that. Like the rest of the year I don't vape that kind of stuff. I don't drink that kind of beer. It's like heavier, you know. But it's wintertime now. I break out all the goods.
quick question.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Quick question for the panel on the MTL vibe. Desserts or fruits in the MTL vibe?
Fruits. For me.
You're asking the wrong person because I really don't MTL that much.
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah.
Same shit. I vape and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have Bridgestone MTL coils. That's all I got.
Same here, but I'll use those in direct plug.
Someone please time out Chris. Anyway, Legion. Legion, what are you vaping on, bro?
I got a few things today. Yeah. Vaping on the Lost Vape Ursa still. Enjoying that. I got a little bit of Goose Hunt in there. Good to vape for advocacy. I really like this. It's really comfortable. I noticed Logan had the Gruss, so it's the same basic form factor. That's solid.
Yeah, it's like the new one is basically like the Gruss when you throw the top part in, the 510 in there. It's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah. A little bit difference in the aesthetics, but overall the same basic form factor.
Yeah.
Nice weight. I really like that one. Also, still vaping on the Velocity with the what the hell is that called? The Arbiter tank on top, which I'm currently halfway through reviewing. It has been a shit morning, and I've had to do the same job like 12 times and fix things repeatedly. It's just been hell. So the reviews for that will be out this week when I finally sort that shit out. But in there, I've got a little bit of Yorkshire Barista Hazelnut Latte. You probably can't see the label from there, but I can't be bothered fiddling with focus today. Hazelnut Latte, really nice. Not too sweet, which is nice in a coffee vape, because usually
I really
they have
want to
that
know
little
your
bitter
opinions
note?
on that Arbiter.
Sorry?
I really want to know your opinion on that Arbiter because I've watched Todd's review on it. Looks very interesting.
It
Especially with that
is.
whole, like
It
that
is. It's a
chimney
nice
kind of two-piece thing.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good things to say about it. But yeah, stick around for the review. The short version is, yeah, thumbs up. It's good. The Druga drippy. Oh my god, I messed up the wicking. Here's the deal. This is the Druga RTA and the new Foxy mod, which I was vaping with pistachio vanilla latte. I will now separate and put to the side and fix this after the show. See, I told you it was a shit morning. I built this for the first time yesterday.
The good news just keeps rolling in, man.
Yeah, the hits just keep coming, man. I built this for the first time yesterday, and I overdid the wicking. So 10 minutes before we started, I just trimmed a bit. I trimmed a bit too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things where you're better off just starting from scratch. So
The
now we
path
go
of
to
no
the side.
return. Yeah.
That was a bunch of Frank and Atticus pistachio vanilla latte. Really nice. You can see I'm going for the coffees today. Across the board. 1, 2, and the third one is also coffee. The Type 2 on the new Cube from OBS. This is interesting. It's got fingerprint technology in it, which I don't know if I like. Haven't really had a chance to test it out. Interesting thing, the manual tells you all about the fingerprint stuff, and it doesn't mention anywhere how to unlock it. When you pull it out of the box, it's locked. You can't adjust the wattage or the voltage or anything. You have to unlock it first. There's nothing in the manual. Absolutely not a single mention. I'm sitting there with a fine-tooth comb going through it in every language. I had to email them, and they mailed me back like an hour ago. And I was like, oh, button 3 times. Okay, that does it. Would have been nice for you guys to say. And it's weird. It's click the button 3 times. It's not and click plus or minus 3 times. It's not hold plus and minus. It's not minus plus fire. All the normal things that you would normally try. Right. None of those. It's nothing you're going to stumble across. It's some weird random thing. But it's nice. It's comfortable. It looks okay. And it's got the Type 2 on top, which you guys know the Type 2.
Mm-hmm. But was that Law and Order? That was Law and Order, wasn't it?
That was someone. By the way, I went to look up. I don't know if you guys have done this. Maybe this is a reviewer thing. When I want to look up stats, I throw them on screen. So I like to go try to find a website that's got all the diameter and capacity and stuff, so I can basically copy and paste and slap it on screen. And I went to look up some stuff for the Type 2, and they didn't have capacity on Grimm's site. I was like, that's weird. It doesn't mention the capacity anywhere. I thought, well, maybe someone else is selling it and they've got all that shit there. So I'll look, because it doesn't say it on the box. And apparently, Type 2, you guys are all going for Type 2 diabetes, but Type 2 RTA is not, it's a thing. It's an actual condition, Type 2 RTA. It's a renal something or other. It's weird.
Wow.
I'm actually going to highlight the text and slam it in the review right at the beginning, just to scare people off. But yeah, it's apparently it's a blood condition where your liver doesn't filter your blood properly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My curious nature wants to know if Grimm knew that before he named it, and he's just been waiting for someone to notice.
Don't be that
I
guy.
feel like he would be.
Steve's gonna be that guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
He's totally gonna be that guy.
Yeah. Unsubbed, straight up. Is that everything you're vaping, Mr. Steve?
That's it. That's
Nice.
it.
Mr. Vandal.
Vandal.
Sorry, I found a soundboard website and now I'll put it away. Anyways, so today I am vaping on my top side dual with the goat and the pre-built heads because I'm a little busy. But I have been fucking sucking this down, and I feel bad because I was gonna take pictures of it. So when I do, Mr. Mitch Hoggets, fucking the mixed berry lemonade is my favorite. I've been doing that, so I'm gonna have to fill it up with a different juice. And I'm gonna take pictures of it because Mitch sent me this. We had him on last week. And that's honestly all I'm vaping on. That was been it, and that's it. But I am drinking on a $3 beer from the gas station as well. Yeah.
Oh,
It comes
Show
with
show us that bottle again.
Oh yeah.
How much is in it?
I can't vape at work anymore, so I go through juice a lot slower. Actually, it's kind of nice. I don't even go through weed as fast anymore. I don't smoke for it. Anyways. But yeah, so that's what I'm vaping on. And that's it. I'm real simple this week. I do have my little pod thing, my Caliburn, but I need to go get some coil pods for it because I tried taking it to work today and I was on my break and I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go hit this. And it just tastes like carpet burning. I need to get a new pod. But yeah. But that's it. That's all I got. I'm real simple this week.
I will then take my turn. I'm also vaping a topside. I pulled this out for Sunday night, and this is the first time I've vapped one of these in probably a good year. But I have the Asgard in Squank mode on the top of that. I will save the e-liquids for last, but there's that going on. I also have the prized possession, the Onigin RDNA 75C with a K-Fun 2019 light. Situation with the bell cap that has a little custard cookie from Sad Boy in 12 milligrams. I also have a little bit of that bad boy, the Odin 250C, the big brother, with the Juggernaut V2. that one has in there liquid I'll get into in a second. This banger, Snowcap Mods 21700 Denali with a Nightmare 25 millimeter is outstanding. Very, very good. That one has in there actually something that was sent to me, a bit of a care package from Vapors Haze in Western Australia. He sent me basically the Coil Turd lineup. I'd never tried the strawberry something, which is actually going on in the Denali. A liquid for vapping, I'd never tried that either, and that one is in the top side. And the Bully Bolu is in actually in the Juggernaut. So this is straight up Coil Turd e-liquid a day. So yeah, that's what I'm vapping on, and awesome. I see a few people throwing some stuff in there. And just really, really quickly, I want to address Mr. Mowgli. The dam method with the blotto. I stopped putting my wicks below that guide ring because I couldn't get it to stop choking. And then you do a little bit of the dam method. Vaps like a treat. A little bit of capillary action there.
What is this method? I
The
mean, I
dam
don't have
method?
any problems with the blotto, but yeah, I'm
No.
curious.
The dam method where you trim your wicks quite short, and so like if that's the guide ring, like where the threading
Yeah,
is, wicks that only just basically poke underneath it as
Oh,
opposed
okay.
to actually
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to the deck.
You're just leaving little short wicks. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I rest my wicks all the way at right on the base,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't had any issues with it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try that. Just maybe it'll wick a little better than it is. I'll give it a go.
Getting on to wicking, I was vaping the Type 2, but it flooded twice on me when I re-wicked it yesterday morning, and it's behind the couch there somewhere. I launched it. So my Type 2 is behind the couch. Until it works out and apologizes for what it did, then I will set it back up again. Mother truckers. So, yeah. Hashtag couch RTA.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We should just get into it. Local news is a couple of days is our Senate inquiry. The news is coming out for Australia. I think we're all waiting with a very deep breath to see what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, and that's all I'm really going to say about that because time is due effectively for the US, and I saw the call to action from Kassar. And I saw Mr. Grimm and Mr. Logan and obviously Corey and a whole bunch of other consumer advocates talking about the situation that's going on with the call to action. Please, for our viewers, can we run through it quickly just to see what's going on?
Sure. Well, we all know about S1253, which has been on the table for probably since the end of summer, I believe, around there. Where it's been out there. We've known about it for some time now. It's the Preventing Online Sales of E-Cigarettes to Children Act.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think as of, like 4 days ago, we found out that they're adding it to an ominous spending bill that is a guaranteed pass because it's a bill that needs to pass every single year. So which keeps the government running practically.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's
so
the federal budget bill. Yeah.
Yeah. So they inserted the language from that bill into that budget bill to where if with a guaranteed pass that it's already going to have, the stuff that's on this bill right now would crush the online sale industry of vaping.
Mm-hmm.
Practically. It would destroy it, especially if it comes to small businesses. And it's just the amount of craziness that's on there. It's ridiculous. Logan, I know you have actually the bill right in front of you right there.
I do have the bill. I mean,
There's some really big points that just rage sweat.
what this is essentially what Cuomo did here in New York. So here in New York, we beat back every flavor ban bill that rolled its way through the state. And then Cuomo snuck the language into the state budget bill, which is a must-pass bill. If the bill doesn't pass, the state doesn't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
And got it through. And so they basically learned from New York, and that's what they're doing here. What it's going to do is basically add e-liquid to the PACT Act, which is the Preventing Online Sales of E-Cigarettes to Children Act,
Mm-hmm.
which children aren't buying e-cigarettes anyways.
A kid has a credit card.
Yeah, children. That's the language. Children, not young adults, not teenagers, children. And what it's going to do is prevent USPS from being allowed to carry e-liquids. Basically, USPS would be out of the picture. The majority of people who get online products, it goes through USPS. It's not a complete online ban the way that this works. Third-party carriers would still be able to deliver, like private companies would still be able to deliver e-liquids. So FedEx, UPS, I don't know what's DHL, something like that.
DHL, yeah.
Would still be able to do it, but the majority of people get it through USPS, and those private companies don't deliver everywhere in America. USPS delivers all across America to every house and home in America. Third-party companies do not. So if you're in a really rural area, you're not getting vape mail anymore. Like you're out in the sticks, man. You're toast. So people who don't have access to vape shops, a lot of folks, excuse me, who may live in rural areas who are disabled, who can't travel long distances to go find a vape shop, they're going to be out of the loop here. They won't be able to get their vape mail anymore. It's going to increase shipping costs for all distributors nationwide. So a lot of the really, really, really small mom and pop shops and liquid companies that are just kind of clinging to life right now, they're probably either going to have to really increase their prices to make up for the difference in shipping, or they're just not going to survive.
And one of the things that's doing that is where the law is requiring online sellers to collect state and local taxes from the customers before shipping the product.
Yeah.
So it's also requiring the shippers, pretty much the small mom and pop shops and the companies themselves, to register with the federal government to provide detailed information monthly to the tax authority of each state and ships product too, including names, addresses of each customer.
And I want to throw this in there real quick for someone that's worked on the other side of the distribution side of it right there. You'd never see a FedEx package go out, or a UPS specific package, or a DHL specific package, unless it's going overseas, because it's exponentially expensive. And the thing is, when you go through USPS, and like I'll say, like you were to just mail out 260 mils of juice, you could do it for $5 on USPS. You want to do that through UPS or FedEx? Some of them will make you include an MSDS sheet, even as a regular consumer, to ship it. On top of that, and then it's going to be 3 times the cost. So basically, what they're doing is trying to kill the industry without attacking it directly by going
it's like
this
a de facto ban, essentially, is what they're trying to do with online sales.
That's exactly what they're doing. And so and then the best part about it is, from their perspective, is that the average consumer doesn't know about stuff like this. This is why it's very, very important. And as far as with things going on right now on the American side of things with politics, we're going to be fighting a lot harder for vaping right now. A lot harder, because of the people that are the new administration and everything that's coming in. They have not been very warm or very welcoming to vaping. So this is very important that every single one of you can send an email. If you have multiple email addresses, like this morning I woke up and I sent it from like 8 different emails. So like this is a very big deal, because like you could still try to get stuff, but like they were saying as well, is that you're trying to figure out how you're going to get shipped this stuff, and then the cost is going to come down to you. And this is really more or less going to affect the more brick and mortar places, because like places like distributors, they can sell to sorry, I get my words mixed up. They can sell to foreign countries. They can sell out of the country and stuff like that, and it won't hit anything on that because that's already going through shipping services. So this is really limiting the option. This is going to limit your options if this goes through exponentially. And this is probably a lot more serious than a lot of the fights we've had for a long time.
And this will kind of, if you think about it too, give people that live in Canada, for example, a lot of the times where people in Canada want to order somebody from a U.S. source, it ships to the border via USPS. And then it switches over to Canada Post and does it that way. Well,
now, I don't know if anyone remembers this, though. Corey, you might. Back when we were kind of talking about S1253 originally over the summer, I think we were talking about it back in July or August. There was kind of whispering notions, a few little article blurbs floating around that if this had passed as a bill initially, S1253, that US or UPS and FedEx already said they would follow suit just just to
Just
follow
cause-
suit.
Yeah, I
They're
remember
privately
that.
owned companies, so they can
Uh-huh.
they can just choose to say, yeah, no, we're not going to ship these products. They don't. There's no bill required for that. And they said they would just follow suit. So really, you would be looking at no vape mail. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
thing is-
UPS and FedEx, changes their mind, but it's still gonna cost an arm and a leg, just like
Or
Vandal
like
just
what-
explained. Like
What
yeah.
Jim McDonald was talking about, where tobacco-free kids would start lobbying the logistics
sure,
companies
absolutely
to.
they would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely they would.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest way for them to do it because it's out of the sight of the average person that pays attention. And another thing too, I want to point out there, like say this ban, unfortunately, if it does go through, it goes through, and then UPS and FedEx don't go right away with the whole we're gonna stop selling it too. If you guys don't know this, and like I learned this while working in the industry, is that locally the I would say postmaster because I don't remember the technical name for them, but the people that are basically the postmasters for US or UPS and FedEx can turn down your packages in a region depending on what's in it. We had that happen here in the state of Nevada when I was working at Local Vape, where UPS wouldn't take any of our packages for a month until they got a new. Well, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but it's like basically the equivalent to like their local postmaster. And he said, no,
Okay,
we're not
yeah.
doing any of that stuff. Like no matter how much MSDS, no matter how safe, no. And then we got lucky enough that he got switched out. But it's dependent on the region. So like if you find somebody that has a weird hair up their butt, you might not even be able to get it, even if it doesn't go like where everyone gets away from it. So this really puts like everybody in a really shitty situation.
Yeah, because you get those people like how Logan said earlier that live out in the boonies, and their only possible way to get a hold of a product is through buying it online.
Yeah,
I mean,
and if you're out in the boonies in a state that's banned, like here in New York, and trust me, there's plenty of boonies out here in New York.
you're fine.
You're not getting anything, man. You're crossing state lines now. I mean, you're crossing state lines. You're trafficking.
Yeah, you're taking a road trip to go buy
Yeah.
stock up on e-liquid or
I
whatever
mean,
vape
don't
product
take
you
it
want.
the wrong way. You're not trafficking black tar heroin, but you're
Yeah.
still trafficking. Like it's still, you're not paying taxes on that product in your state. You're shipping it across
You're
state
breaking the
lines.
law.
You're traveling it across state lines. You're technically, by law, you're breaking the law, and we're forcing consumers to do this just to remain smoke free. And that to me
It's
is just,
insane.
it's asinine. I mean, I've been on the phone all day. I left four messages at Mitch McConnell's office today. I've done the emails. I'll put that up again. Please call tomorrow because I don't think they voted
Sure.
on this today. So call tomorrow. The phone number is
I think
202.
like we were talking earlier, Logan. I think it hits the
2541.
floor tomorrow. I'm putting
Yeah.
the CASA call to action in the chat right now for everybody.
Call, email. Oh, and really quick for everybody,
Adam,
I'm assuming everyone in this
moderation.
chat has done CASA calls to action, but I say it to everybody who's about to do one. CASA pre-fills a lot of stuff out for you, okay? But please don't forget to include your personal story. And in that section
100%.
where they fill stuff out for you, you put your story first. Because what happens is if everybody sends that same email with that same first sentence and first paragraph, after a while it just gets flagged as spam. And all of your emails go right into a spam folder and they're never ever read. And everything you just did is a waste of time. It only takes a few minutes to do. If you're like me, you have your story, you have your all that stuff saved on a Word document, you copy, you paste it, you click it into the CASA email, and you send it out to your reps. It only takes you a minute to do. It's really not difficult. But please put it before their filled in stuff. That way it actually goes to the inbox.
And say you're no Shakespeare and you don't want to put your whole story in there. It's something that you're not comfortable with or something that you feel like you can't do.
Few
Change
sentences.
some of the words.
Yeah.
Change some of the words around.
Yeah,
Instead
your
of,
best
like,
bet is
and
right at the top.
S2.
A couple of
Yeah,
sentences,
because
short and sweet.
CASA has a great template on there for just like if you want to do it, just copy and paste. But there's so many different spots to where you can just highlight a certain spot, delete it, put your story in,
Sure, yeah.
end it there, go into another spot, highlight, delete, put something you want to put that's more personal. They
Yeah.
make it such easy access, and then where it literally the call to action is it's pretty much straightforward, really. It's
Yeah.
cut paste, just and it sends it for you. It's
Corey, you
CASA
can
does it.
put it back in there in the chat. I did sort that out for you if you want to do that again.
let's see if that works.
Yeah, I see.
And
There it is.
I can't remember
Make
what
sure you're
time his
doing the
office
call to
closes. I want to say, because I heard it in the voicemail, because the last time I called, their office was closed. It's like 6:30, maybe 6 or 6:30 p.m. Eastern is when Mitch McConnell's office closes. So, and their office opens at I think 8 in the morning. So I'll be calling tomorrow morning again, and I hope other people call. You don't have to say much. I just tell them my name, where I'm from, and then I just let them know that we need to exclude the language from S1253 about the USPS vape mail ban. This can't go through. There are people in rural areas that need to have access to these products to remain smoke-free. Please exclude this language from the bill. That's all you have to say.
And I believe it's hitting the House floor tomorrow, if I'm correct, right, Logan?
From what I understand, yes. Jim tweeted today that we have at most 3 days on this.
Okay. So we're going to find out this week whether it goes through or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this week. So, like, don't wait on it. Don't sleep on it. Like, tomorrow morning, if you haven't called, please call. If you get crazy anxiety about calling,
right now you should have another tab.
Please
open
email
and doing it.
And the thing is you guys got to also take into account, we just certified, the electoral votes. So the new administration in the states is happening. It's happening now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're not going to hit the ground crawling. They're hitting the ground fucking running. And this is right now you have to do it right now. You have to do it right now, because if you don't do it right now, if this passes, they're never going to they're never going to pay attention to us again.
So,
it's not that they're not going to hear from us again, but they're not going to listen to us.
it's a sad thing to say, but the vape community has a big kind of thing of always waiting until the last minute with situations like this, to where we shouldn't wait till the last minute. We need to make sure that we're proactive, kind of thing, where it's like, I want everybody to kind of have the same mindset together and be to where it's like, we first hear about something, we're not going to wait until it hits the Senate floor, hits the House floor. No, we're going to make sure that we're being proactive before it even gets to the Senate. If we get it stopped before even the Senate, that's a goal probably every vapor out there that's filled out a call to action. If we are able to make enough noise to where we stop it right at the Senate, that's fantastic.
Well, that's why all of this is going to Mitch McConnell. He's the Senate Majority Leader. He brings the bills to the floor. I mean, there's literally like 500 bills that are sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk right now.
Yeah.
And we want this one to sit there as well. That's where we want it to go. We want it to go on the dusty pile of bills that Mitch McConnell keeps at his desk.
And I don't want to go one side or the other with politics right now, but technically McConnell still is in charge of the Senate and the votes. This is why this matters, because when this switches over, there's a runoff election coming up soon, and it's not looking great for the Republican side. And the Republican side usually identifies with vapors more often than not. So
this
the thing
S1253 was written
as Republican support
by a Republican. Just so people know, this is a bipartisan bill.
Yeah,
this is very this is politics aside. This is both sides shitting on all of us. So yeah, this was written by a Republican.
It's very important.
Yeah. This has
probably
full bipartisan support. You know, the only person that's going to stop this from going forward is Mitch McConnell, and that's why we need to blow up his phones.
And he's really adamant right now on not making sure that one side gets what they want, and we're not going to get into the politics side. So if you really want to make sure this gets heard right now is the point to hear it, because when those Senate runoff goes, we don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, and you can also include too that this is going to force people to travel, and like we talked about, outside of state, but that also increases exposure risk. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, so that's another really great point to make if you want to include that in your email, that it's just unnecessary travel. It's an unnecessary burden on people. You know, it's just a really bad bill, you know.
And that's the best way to phrase it too, because Logan's absolutely right. If you do it in a way, because like it is, I'm not saying that it's not that serious, because it is that serious, but if you do it in a way where they can present it on the floor or to their other, like, you know, people in the Senate, where it's like, you know, it's not like, oh, we're being inconvenienced. It's actually a big deal by bringing up the fact that it's bothering us and how it will affect everything else in the community. It gives a better chance for us to be able to get some, you know, clout behind it and some standing, because it shows that we're not just trying to be like, fuck you, we want our vape stuff, fuck the world. No, we're actually being conscious to the situation of everything that's going on.
Yeah, Mowgli's right. It's like we don't want the bill to die, because the bill itself that the language is on is what the government needs to have funding. Right?
I'm okay if the bill. No, I'm just kidding.
Like,
I don't care if our government does. Our government doesn't have any money anyway, man. It's taxpayer dollars.
But as long as we get it to where the language of S1253 is removed, we'll be perfectly okay for now.
Yeah.
It'll probably be brought up later on when Biden's in office. 100%, it'll probably hit Mitch McConnell's desk again in a different wording or a different phrasing. But that'll just be another fight that we're ready for. We already have pretty much a blanket of what it would stand for. And if they change a few things that could be possibly worse, could be possibly in our favor, we'll still be ready for it.
And when you guys think, if anyone out there watching or anyone out there sees this and you think that someone else will do it, they won't. It's up to you. It's up to you to do
No,
it.
it's like having the
It's
mindset
up
of,
to all of
oh,
us.
this guy talking about it right now, he'll do it he'll do it more than enough times. I don't need to do it. That's the wrong fucking mindset to have, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you have that mindset, in my opinion.
The changing the goalposts is something that we all know that they're going to do, and I think also a little bit about what you said with it should have already been something that we should have been on top of, but it's also very hard to fight their battle with their language and their situation. So sometimes, you know, those last minute things are actually very important. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Logan was saying, they put, or like these, like, you know, our guests were saying, they put it on an existing bill already. That's what they did here in the state of Nevada, and they originally identified it as a standalone, and then they got a million times pushback, even from all sides. And then what they did is they went back and piggybacked it onto our state budget bill, and that's why it's not a ban, but it was as a wholesale tax, and that's how they do that shit. And that's why, like, I know like CASA and them are never gonna see this, but thank you, CASA. I'm just throwing that out there in the universe because I would have never known about this without this. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, you know, I do research here and there on what's going on in vaping stuff, but with American politics right now, there's just so much fucking shit going on.
It's chaos, yeah.
If you guys can, make sure you pay attention to the people that are supporting this stuff. You got a couple extra bucks, throw $3 to CASA if you can. They're doing
buy their merch.
Do you care if I shamelessly plug something really quick?
Do it.
Do you guys
do.
I plugged you on the Omis. You need to do it.
Okay. On the 20th, so this coming Sunday on December 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern, me and my wife are going to be doing our 50th weekly update episode live right here on my channel on YouTube for the Rise and Vape podcast, and we're doing a CASA fundraiser as well to try to, you know, bring in some extra dollars for CASA before the holidays and tell them thank you. We're going to be doing some kind of, once we hit certain goals, donation goals, we're going to do raffles on some Rise and Vape merch, so you can get t-shirts, you can get a hoodie, you can get coffee cups, stickers, stuff like that. So if you guys want, tune in. If you got a couple bucks, please donate. There's no minimum donation. Any donation that you can make is going to enter you into that raffle. We're just, like I said, we're just trying to do something fun for our 50th episode, and also give back to CASA a little bit before the holidays, just to tell them thank you for everything they do.
And so with your giveaway, do you want them to send you a screenshot of the donation? Like, hey, this is what I donated, and that'll get them in the running?
No, I have the fundraiser all set up, and the site that CASA uses to do this, that I'm going through for this, actually has a live thing that'll come up for me. So I probably won't have it all integrated. I'm probably not going to go through like OBS and do all this crazy stuff. I'm just going to set it up here in the office and go right live with my wife. But we'll be able to watch that, so we'll be able to, you know, say thank you to people live right there. We'll be able to see it, and then we're also going to go off of that and like a randomizer, essentially, just to pick the winners once we get to our goals. So we're hoping for $100. I mean, it's not a lot to ask out of the community to come in, and if everybody who shows up just, you know, gives $2, you get entered into a raffle. All the proceeds are going to go directly to CASA, so any of the winners, that's going to come right out of my pocket to send you guys something dope, a t-shirt, a hoodie, whatever that is, just to say thank you, to CASA, and just to kind of do something fun to wrap up the year.
Can internationals take part as well?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, to be honest with you. Maybe I can find out right now, though.
Maybe I can answer that myself. I know that internationals can make a donation to CASA.
Oh yeah, absolutely you can.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that for the fundraiser. I don't know, site, I guess, that we're going through that CASA utilizes for things like this.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume so. I would say yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. If you get shot down, then that's a no. If you get denied, it's a no.
I think it doesn't matter. It's make a donation anyway. Like, that's the reality. You know, whether you're in a draw or not, it's not the point. Yeah.
I mean, I think $100 would just be a cool, like, here you go. Basically, maybe buy everybody over at CASA lunch or something like that one day. I just think it would be a nice. It's a small goal. I think it's an attainable goal. I think we can crush it, and I'm hoping that we crush it. But yeah, I think it should be fun. You know, and we're still going to do basically like an episode of Rise and Vape. Like, we're going to do news and advocacy. We're going to go through all the things. And me and my wife will have a side topic. We'll do something Christmas themed. We'll have a conversation. We'll have chat involved. It should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
Logan, put me down for after this stream. I'll do $50 right now.
Why don't you hold off? I mean, I can send you the link, or if you just want to send $50 to Kasa, please do.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do something to like be in the raffle and that whole thing.
I don't want any prizes. I don't want any of that. But I'm gonna let these people know. Like, put your money where your mouth is. We're gonna do it. This is our.
Yeah,
this is
just send it. Just send it right to Kasa, man. I mean, it's.
All right, you got it right now.
Yeah,
the worst comes to worst
just,
is if you want something out of it where you're gonna know they're gonna get money, but maybe you can get something that you can physically wear. Go to their website.
Yeah, every few months, because we have a Patreon for Rise and Vape, and every few months, it's like every 3 or 4 months, we just donate our entire Patreon right to Kasa.
Nice.
You know, I could do smaller monthly things, but I just like to cut him a check. You know, so. Right. But that's what we do, and I just love Kasa. I love Alex and Kristen and Danielle and just everybody over there at Kasa. They all work really hard, and the vast majority of our heads up, our calls to action, our everything that we know, and getting people mobilized to go fight for our right to vape, that comes from Kasa and all the hard work that they do. So
there's so much that goes on in the world, and so much that goes on in politics. Excuse me, behind the scene, that it's impossible for any of us to really stay on top of it all. So that service they do, they comb it all, and they bring attention to what needs to be done right now, what's of vital importance, and that's invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
Danielle just spent like 6 months completely revitalizing Kasa's website. It's so good. The site is fantastic. It runs great. Everything's really, really well organized. You can find loads and loads more information on Kasa's site now. So huge shout out to Danielle Jones. She did an absolute killer job on the site.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but my conspiracy brain is on spider. Spider sensors are going off at the moment. Is there any coincidence to the Senate inquiry date and also the U.S. Armageddon of vaping all at the same time as this?
Adam,
Bloomberg.
I wouldn't put it past
Bloomberg.
Yeah. No, I try not to get like too deep down into the conspiracy holes, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, you kind of got a point in that if there's no vape mail, and then the couriers shut things down, then no one in Australia can order from the States.
Yeah.
No one in Europe can order from the States. No one anywhere outside of the States can order. It's not just the Americans that get affected, it's the world.
Well, is that not that I disagree with you, Steve, but in the same vein, a manufacturer in the US can do international trade. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they can still ship. So say I don't know, Anarchist, bottled, shipped, big crates coming out to Australia for the retailers here. That's fine, but of course that our issue, that's 0 milligrams. But there's a lot of Australians that still order like 6 or 5 bottles directly from a store or a manufacturer in the States. That's a personal sale, and that would be banned.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Also, just so you guys know, do it right now. $50 right there.
Do it.
Look at that.
Do it.
Kapow. That's it. Mowgli says more members, more clout. That's exactly right. There are millions of us and hundreds of them. So,
And one thing you could do to stay up to date, register with Kasa. Get their freaking emails.
Yeah, I get
it. Makes advocacy so easy if you don't have a chance to actively do it. It lets you know what's going on, and Kasa is always on top of everything that will affect the community as a whole all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just calls to action that they do. I mean, they constantly, if you follow them on Twitter, they're constantly putting out blog posts and different post heads ups, all sorts of things, correcting science, correcting bad policies, correcting bad studies, letting people know what's going on, so you guys can stay informed on upcoming bills, what's going on in the science world of vaping. Like, Kasa does so many things for us. Yeah, they're just fantastic.
yeah, indeed. Well, we appreciate all that information, and we're sending you all the best vibes and energy. And Sunday, please put a link in that in the thing, Logan, for your Sunday situation.
For me?
Yes, please.
It's just my YouTube, but I can do that. It's just Logan X Sales. for everybody, it's pretty easy.
Awesome.
Don't do Logan axe holes. It's a totally different type.
Yeah.
Can vouch for that. That's not the right one. Yeah. Indeed. Awesome. I also actually wanted to ask a little bit about the.
Nope. There it is.
There you go. Thank you. Yep. Click it. Do it. Be involved. The COPD podcast, Mr. Logan. I'm sure. I know a little bit about it. That you were doing a lot of work leading into that. You know, how much of that stuff was things you knew and things that you learnt whilst getting that together.
Well, a lot of the studies have been out for a while, and the majority of them, actually, all of them in that episode, I believe, except for the summary, were all written by Dr. Ricardo Pelosa. So if you know who Dr. Ricardo Pelosa is, he is the something director at the University of Clinical and Experimental Medicine in Italy. I believe I got that right. And so in both of those episodes actually is a lot of his work. Part 1, which I did on asthma, and then part 2 I did on COPD. They're really good. I took most of November off for basically like a mental health month, which was a lot of why that second part took so long for me to get out. But yeah, I think a lot of it I knew. What was really powerful for me was testimonies from people that I talked to and conversating with people about their improved health, like people who no longer have to take certain medications for their COPD, people who no longer, like Robin specifically was somebody that really stuck with me. I mean, she tried all sorts of ways to quit smoking. It was a really scary thing for her when she found out she had COPD. She was a perfectly healthy, person otherwise. And usually COPD precedes asthma for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But with her, she has it basically completely under control, doesn't use any inhalers anymore. She rarely has any issues with any respiratory issues at all. I mean, it's really incredible. COPD is something that there's no cure for, and it's a progressive disease. It just gets worse over the course of your life. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And smoking just rapidly accelerates that decline. And so when you quit smoking and you switch over to vaping, obviously quitting completely would be the best for anybody who has COPD, not vaping, not smoking. But your risk is so negligible with vaping. If you can't quit or you don't want to quit, please switch. That's the biggest premise. But people see lowered exacerbation rates. They have better 6-mile walk distances, which is a unit that they use. It's like a measurement that they use to test how well you're breathing, how far you're able to walk for 6 minutes. Improvements in their CAT scores, improvements in lung function, just really incredible stuff. People who had the lungs, Chris is a good example. He was on there. He basically had the lungs of like a 90-year-old, or like a 70-something-year-old. And he's got his lung function just about back down to his chronological age. So does Robin. Kirsten's the same way. So it's really awesome stuff to see and hear from people who really, truly, for a lot of people, you're like, oh yeah, vaping saved my life just because I wasn't going to keep smoking for the next 40 years and get cancer. But these are people who legitimately were gasping for air, struggling to breathe. This product almost immediately saved their life. This is much quicker than me being like, oh yeah, I smoked for 12 years, vaping saved my life. Yeah, because otherwise I was just going to smoke for the next 50 years. That was my plan. That was it. So it definitely saved my life. But for folks like them, it's a very immediate change. It's an immediate benefit to their health, and 100% definitely
it improves their quality of life.
Saved their life.
Yeah.
It improves the quality of a lot of people's lives, and I get it. A lot of people see us everyone here with their hats and their beards and oh yeah, I love strawberries and shit like that. But more or less, this is definitely for those people that have the problems that can't cope without having nicotine, or they haven't found the way to go without it yet, and they have serious underlying issues. And a small percentage, sure, compared to everyone else, but these are the people that really need it compared to us. Because like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was thinking last week when I started at this new job, I gotta get the vape right at work unless I'm on my break. And I was like, you know what, I could probably quit vaping right now if I wanted. Am I going to? No, I enjoy it. But the thing is, there's people out there that still need to get their nicotine fixed where patches don't work. Tell me one person that you know successfully that it's worked for, and if it has, that's awesome. But that's not the mainstream. That's not everyone. Vaping has helped people with so much stuff, whether it's from COPD to almost pre-asthma to any kind of health conditions. And like Logan said, instantly help improve their lives. And these are the people you really need to do it for. Not me, I get it. Like, you know, do I want to go away? No. But when you think about doing this and you're thinking about maybe like, oh, should I spend an extra $50 on this or get a pair of shoes? Is that pair of shoes that you could spend on something else going to help somebody else's life? And I get it. If you're down and out and you can't afford to donate, don't. Take care of your family. Take care of yourself. But if you have the opportunity to, it's going to push back maybe getting a new Xbox controller till next week or a new pair of shoes till next week that you don't really need. You're helping people beyond the people you see on the screen. You're helping people that have legitimate health conditions.
Mowgli, right here in chat, just said my chronic bronchitis, which is one of the major contributing factors to COPD, has been completely absent since I switched to vaping. 20 plus years, chest cold every winter is 100% gone. No lung involvement for 7 years, not once. That's fantastic, man. I mean, Chris was somebody that I talked to on for that podcast, and he was very similar. He was in the hospital regularly with respiratory infections constantly. He has emphysema now, so he was dealing with like every other weekend basically in the hospital all over the course of the winter, every winter. He hasn't been in a hospital for respiratory issues in like the same as you, like 6 or 7 years now. So I mean,
it's a whole change of life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a new lease on people's life.
Better.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
told my story a ton of times on my channel and here, but 4 years ago, something like that, I was 30 plus years into smoking. I was wheezling. I was bubbling when I breathed. I was hacking up my chest every single morning. I had broken ribs, but broken ribs and liquid in my lungs, and I would still crawl my way to that back porch every morning because I was going to smoke. There's no way I wasn't going to smoke. My biggest regret is not knowing what was going to happen. Like, I knew that smoking was going to kill me, but not knowing how much of a change vaping would make. Because if I'd known then what I knew now, I would have gone in. I would have gone to the doctor and say, look, just do a full physical. Get everything on record. I'm going to see you in a year. Yeah. Because I would have loved to have that before and after, which I missed out on. I have anecdotal evidence. I wish I had the data there to show, because the change was so fucking remarkable. Within a month, the wheezling and the bubbling and all that liquid just went away. You talked about how far you could walk in 6 minutes. I'm on a hill. I could not get to the top of the hill without a break. Within a month or two, I was walking to the post office and back. Not really an issue. Just a huge change. I don't know, like I said, because I didn't go to the doctor. I don't know what my diagnosis was. Whether it was emphysema coming on early or not. I always want to say early onset. That's not right. But the onset of COPD, whether it was bronchitis, all I know is that I was in agony all the time. I couldn't breathe. Sick. I was heading towards a really, really bad place, and it just cleaned up. It's amazing.
I wasn't anywhere in that realm. How do I want to preface this? I do these spotlight episodes to have more nuanced conversations. So like, instead of just the overarching umbrella of smoking cessation or quitting smoking or harm reduction, I try to get into the nuanced conversations, and they're all really important to me, the spotlight episodes like these that I did. And I started with asthma. Well, that wasn't the first one I did, but I started this 2-part with asthma because I was diagnosed with asthma when I was 2. I've spent my entire life with asthma. I don't know what it's like to breathe without having asthma. And after smoking for 12 years, that was I wasn't a 30 or 40 year. I haven't even made it that far yet. But I smoked for 12 years, and I was at the point where I had settled into the fact that smoking was going to kill me, and that I would be, I would have trouble breathing for the rest of my life. But it was night and day, for me, quitting smoking, switching to vaping. Within 2 months, I was done using my inhaler. I haven't used an inhaler in years. I have one. It just sits in our medicine cabinet on the off chance I maybe get a cold that's really bad, and I get, it's a little stuffier. It's hard to breathe through like a sickness or something. But like I can play with my kids now. We go skateboarding in the summer. We go running, and that's something I couldn't do before. I mean, when I made the decision to go quit was the day that I spent literally like 10 minutes running around outside with my kids, and I was gasping for air. And I was
Well,
like,
Logan, yeah, you told me the story about like you go outside and like kick the soccer ball around with your kids.
yeah,
And you have to stop in the
that's-
middle of it because you couldn't breathe.
I couldn't
And-
breathe, and the first thing I did, not being able to breathe, I walked away from my children, unable to breathe,
And you
and
had
I
a
sat
cigarette.
down and I lit up a cigarette. Dude, and I've never felt like more crushing, like, I don't really want to call it shame, but like disappointment in myself. You know what I mean? Like, and it was one of those things, I was like, I have to do something about this. And I went to the vape shop, and 6 days later I quit smoking. And so for me, these spotlight episodes that I do like this are really important to me. And I try to have those more nuanced conversations, because it's not just like, oh, quit smoking so you don't get lung cancer. Like, yeah, that's really, really fucking important, but there's more to
That's
it
a
than
broad
that.
brush.
There's a lot of facets to vaping and who it can help and why. My next one that I'm going to be doing, I'm pretty positive I'm going to try to tackle pregnancy. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be tough.
Well,
Gonna
the
be a rough
UK's
one.
got some pretty.
Yeah, Royal College of Midwives is behind e-cigarettes 100%. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go through a lot of their stuff and try to, I don't know, do it in a really professional, good way without like, hey, you're pregnant, go vape. You know what I mean? It's like you have to walk this fine line when you get into these conversations about this kind of stuff. But
Yeah. And we know, of course, that the UK studies mean nothing, man. They're all false anyway. So
oh, they're all trash. It's just 12 dudes sitting in a room.
It's the
It's just
equivalent
crazy
of
how
like
successful it is for not working.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to
Exactly.
quote the
But
great
yeah.
Stanton Glantz on here. The Royal College edition is like the invasion of the body snatchers.
Right, yeah. Invasion of the body snatchers,
Oh dear.
You don't want your underwear to smell worse, or
Yeah.
you don't want your outerwear to smell worse than whatever he says. Than your
Hashtag
underwear.
engorged.
Yeah,
That's all you need.
That fucking
If you don't
fuck.
want
I don't
erectile
have another
dysfunction,
word
you
for
need
him.
to stop
That's what he
vaping right
is.
now. You need to stop consuming nicotine, otherwise your dick's not going to rise.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you'll have erectile dysfunction.
You're going to
The
be a
rise
half
in
mass
vape.
for the rest
Now
of your
I
life.
get
Yeah.
it.
See, that's how you know I don't have any issues.
You gotta wonder
You
what
think
kind of
people would watch
scientist.
it if it was called limpin' vape?
Yeah, I would say like, oh, so back in the 40s, like 80% of men didn't get erections. That's
Yep.
what happened. We wouldn't be
Maybe
here.
it was all the cocaine.
There wouldn't be a generation to carry forward.
It was
It's
all
just
the
a
cocaine,
ridiculous
that's
thing.
why. No.
And it's all about vasoconstriction. It's all about the fact that nicotine transiently causes vasoconstriction, which so does sex, so does exercise, so does beating the boss in a video game when you get really hyped up, so does going to concerts, so does all sorts of things. Like, it's a very natural thing. There's actually
Are you saying you get boners when you beat your boss in a video
no, not
game?
erections, vasoconstriction. Your
I was like, yes, I won.
arteries,
Ah!
your blood vessels constricting, slightly, and that's their whole premise for the ED thing. And it's just, I don't know. It's just more of that shit science that, like, yeah, sure, it causes this thing. It causes vasoconstriction, but like, so does half the shit that we do every day. That's the part that they leave out when they.
I'm
when they
sure the
tell you
4
this.
energy drinks I drink today illegally did nothing. For
Yeah,
my
you don't
health.
even have arteries left, dude. So it's cool.
You guys notice how I talk on here? You guys have seen me talk. I have really bad arteries, probably, and I'm very constricted. That's why I'm
I was just fucking with you. I hope your arteries are fine.
No.
though.
If you're not, no, everyone that's ever been on the show said that. Man, that guy talked so fast for an idiot. No, shit. But yeah.
I said it
But
to
yeah,
you right
and
when
so
we
I-
started.
I want to throw this out there as my last harp on this whole situation with all this. If you're not doing it for you, if you're not doing it for like your health, do it for the people whose lives this changes. Logan just told a story about how like he couldn't run for 15 minutes with his kids. Think about the small moments that people are getting back that they don't even realize. That's it, man. That's all I got. But make sure you're not doing it just for you. You're doing it for everyone. You're doing it for everyone.
Straight up Hundy P. Yeah.
Yeah, do it for your neighbors.
The other thing that I was thinking about just during that conversation was like, there's no doubt. I mean, I was 23-year smoker, and family members passed due to smoking and other extracurricular activities. It was always something that I grew up with. But even with my 23 years, from a packet a day to sometimes 2 packets a day, for quite a few years in that situation when I was living overseas, I kind of came out of it without any injuries, so I'm in one of those lucky few, I guess, that spanked it and didn't walk away with some heavy stuff. But the same situation was every year you'd get a cold, and getting a cold when you're a smoker is the worst, because that is, it affects everything. But in the last couple of years, I get a slight cold and thinking to myself, I must be getting healthier, the reality of that. But it's just the reality of me not smoking. So my colds are like a quarter of the strength of what they used to be, so that's really the only thing. Yeah, but I was thinking about that when we were talking about the debate situation of actually having records or having any health situations of to be able to use as, evidence, so to speak. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of medical records of me in the hospital. I have records of me with blood gas tests down below 65. Back when I was a smoker, and when I was in and out of hospitals, nebulizer treatments. I mean, I have all of those old records, and I haven't been to a hospital for anything respiratory related in almost 4 years. I don't use any medications for my asthma anymore. I mean, so there's proof enough for me, to do what we do here. In as far as that goes, it's one of the greatest quotes I think that applies to a lot of us is, we're always kind of pushed aside as just anecdotes. We're just anecdotes. It's just whatever. It's just you're just an anecdote, and that's all you are. Well, the plural of anecdote is data.
Indeed.
And that comes from, his last name's Wolffinger.
Amazing.
I can't remember his first name.
Amazing name.
And he
I can't remember his first name. But that's the quote, and that's what he said. The plural of anecdote is data, and that's the truth. I mean, at what point is it no longer anecdotal? When you have 1 million people, when you have 10 million people, when you have 100 million people, like at what point do we move into the realm of, okay, this is scientifically significant now. Like, this isn't just anecdotal. This is data, And for most of our public health officials, infinity. Like, it doesn't matter how many anecdotes, and that's a big problem,
Well, here's an anecdote for you, a longer anecdote, but my mother was a pack-a-day smoker the entire life. I don't remember any time she wasn't smoking. When I was about 11 or 12 or so, she had a double bypass surgery, 2 major scars up her legs, crossing the veins over, because she couldn't walk up hills anymore. The veins were constricting and they were hard, and so that had to be taken care of. I was too young, I was too little, I didn't smoke at the time, and I told myself, I won't do that. That's bad stuff. Of course I did. When my sister had a brain aneurysm, they told her that smoking was a contributing factor and she should quit. She didn't, and I continued smoking even knowing that was a risk in the family. I got 2 issues happening in our family, and I just continued to smoke. When my mom was 65 and I was on the other side of the world from her, she was diagnosed with lung cancer, and she had full chemo, and that lasted about a year, and that was it. When the call came in, I was just about to head out the door and go to work for the night, and it was,
Oh, storm hit.
That's the Legion freeze, guys. Just so you know, it's not a. Yeah, you froze, bro. You lost like the last 2 minutes.
Oh.
I don't know about the last 2 minutes.
No.
Not 2 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, you got the call, Steve. You got the call.
Oh, I got the call. Yeah, I got the call that my mom had passed. The chemo didn't work, and I was about to head out the door, like I said, to work. So I went, sat on the back porch, and I smoked an entire half pack of cigarettes, sitting there, thinking about my mom dying of lung cancer. Which, you know, you're sitting there smoking them going, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? But it's the only thing that relaxes you. I have more anecdotal stories. My family is littered with issues that all can be traced back to smoking. Common sense is not a factor here. Knowing better is not a factor. Nothing really helps. Nothing really changes if you've got this on your back, if you've made that choice. This is one of the reasons why I do what I do, is to give people just a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of visibility to this thing that works. Nothing else would have worked. I tried to quit so many times. You know, you can have death right at your doorstep. You can have valid excuses or valid reasons why you should quit. Like my sister. She still smokes to this day. It's been 25 years since her aneurysm. She could have another one at any point in time. You would never see it coming. But yeah, she won't quit. I can't convince her.
Yeah, that's
Heavy. Very, very heavy.
I froze again.
Yeah, that's all right.
yeah.
That's okay. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We're actually at that time, and I feel like we could continue talking about this forever. I want to thank Mr. PoonSauce and Mr. Logan, and obviously Chris and Steve, as always. It's always incredible having you dudes on, and and everyone in chat. Always very, very appreciative of your time and listening to us go on and on and on about it. But that's how we feel about it. It's broken record until the government fucking listens. Pardon my French. I think that may be the first time I've sworn online. How about that?
That
there you
is
go.
the very first
Oh.
time.
How about that?
Hold on.
Hey!
Swearing all the time.
Must be Sherry.
I swear like a sailor, man. I got it out of me.
That was beautiful. I'm the only one that got a slight chubby when Adam did that.
Wait a minute. Speaking of PoonSauce's slight chubby, can I say that every time I've been on a show with you, you do this thing where you kick back and you go way back and you're relaxed, and I glance over at the corner that you're there, and it just looks like you're about to pull it out and just give her.
Like he forgot he was on.
I'm just enjoying the show so much. Oh.
Yeah. You just see him start to reach for the tissue box, and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Just reach for the pump. Just
Yeah.
be like squirt.
The pump.
You use a pump, not a Gorilla bottle?
Well, I tried
No.
doing a Gorilla bottle, but then I realized it had super glue in it too. So
I realised I chose the wrong genre for this YouTube stream. It should have been more entertainment, not people and places. Yeah.
There's a whole nother site for this. This Adam.
and you can find us there after the show.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the after show.
Awesome.
See, we started with Vandal's butthole, and we ended up with PoonSauce's chubby.
Yeah, no, what is it? Beating the boss. There you go. Beating the boss is...
Beating the boss.
We all heard Adam swear.
Yeah.
Heard it. It's on camera. It's on YouTube till the end of time.
I feel ashamed. I'm
gonna do this just for you,
Proud,
Steve.
man.
I'm
Where the
joking.
fuck with pride, bro?
Totally. No, there's many that those do know me. I do swear a lot, and it is a sign. Apparently, those that swear are very intelligent people. So I'm just going to cling to that.
No, I don't
And just to
man.
counter
I don't-
Adam, I swear
wouldn't
every
be.
other word. It's not true. No.
I think we need to get a shirt for Adam that says, I said fuck on the internet.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
You can wear it when you're dropping your kid off to the preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's, next year was going to be.
Can we get a screenshot? Can we get a screenshot of this stream and have it on the shirt as well?
Oh!
Yeah, when everybody was like, "Ah." Yeah, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. PoonSauce OnlyFans, says Big G.
Yeah.
Bro, he's already got one. You're missing out.
I'm about to say it.
I'm already subbed, bro.
Find it,
He's having a December special right now.
right?
You get all the poon, half the sauce, half off.
Only
Ew.
sauce. I made my own website instead of OnlyFans. It's only sauce.
It's only sauce. You don't go there. Don't go
It's
to
all
that
right.
site.
I know that it's a little off topic, but you guys know how like Stan, Mr. Tenacious gets a little weary about being made fun of. I'm gonna create a whole website called Only Stands, and I'm gonna get sued so bad from him. But I'm gonna put his face all over it. And I'm gonna Photoshop
Every
his
account.
face into yeah. I'm gonna
Every
put it on
account
a
you're not
Sasha
allowed to
Grey body.
upload. You're not allowed to
Only
upload your
stands, I
own
like
photo. You just get given an like
I
an
thought it was
ADI of Stan, like that. You get to be a
no,
different photo of Stan.
your default picture is the Parnasius stand picture of him.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get.
I'll
You
Photoshop
better have a
up
good bio
a G
because
string.
that's all you get to run with.
Now
Well,
you guys
apparently
got me an idea.
Logan has an only feet page. I didn't know that.
That's okay. All right, Mitch. Whoa.
Only toes.
Only
Only tones.
Everybody makes fun of
make
me
sure to
about my
have his
feet,
hairs
man.
on his feet extra hairy for them.
I hate feet,
Hobbit lovers.
and I have terribly ugly feet.
There's a whole market for it. You're missing out, man. Consumer
no, I'm all
advocate feet fetish. You're totally
But
missing
say,
out.
if you go to my OnlyFans now, I am selling used bathwater for $85,000.
Is that 60-40 or 70-30? Yeah.
It's very.
So does it
thick
smell
and
like
there
IPAs though?
It's very thick and there is hair. Just letting you know.
Ew.
It does smell like IPAs.
Smells
It's
like
like-
IPAs.
there-
and
it's-
Yeah, it smells like hops and unwashed balls. That's what you get.
Can you get it without pulp though? That's my question. I'm not a pulp
oh,
guy.
all
you
the
know?
pulp. All the pulp.
I love you too, Mitch.
We're going to pull the plug there, you filthy
You
animals.
probably should have pulled the plug a while
Yeah.
ago.
Thank you so much to everyone in chat for hanging out with us. We
Yes.
send all our love and squishy best energy to everyone. Catch you next week. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Steve. And thank you to the other guy who's also here with us. We love you all. And